Welcome to Lesson 12. In this lesson we're going to learn how to do the following. We will open a Camera Raw image in Adobe Camera Raw. We're going to adjust tone and color in a raw image. We're going to sharpen an image in Camera Raw. We're going to synchronize settings across multiple images, and we will retouch a portrait in Camera Raw using masked adjustments. This is what the finished products will look like, these two things right here. But we're just going to, I'm going to close these. You don't have these. We're going to click File and then Browse in Bridge and go to where your files are. And of course mine opened on the other screen so you can't see it. Let me drag this over. There it is, Adobe Bridge. You click on Lesson 12 right there. So go to wherever you have stored all your Lesson 12 stuff, and you can adjust the thumbnail slider down here so you can see everything, bigger or smaller, whatever makes you happy. And look at 12, let's see, 12 start, and the one I had up before was an end. You're not going to see this end one. And the reason you're not going to have that end one is because some of you, all you would do is you would take that end one that I've given, that's right here, and you'd submit that without doing the lessons, and you know who you are. So the original photograph of a Spanish-style church is a Camera Raw file, so it doesn't have the usual PSD. You see this says .crw right here. What that means, it was taken with a Canon SLR camera, and so it uses Canon's proprietary file extension, which is CRW. We're going to process this Camera Raw image to make it brighter, sharper, and clearer, and then save it both as a JPEG file for the web and as a PSD file so you could work on it future of Photoshop. Then if you look at 12B, there's the start, there's the end. Once again, you're not going to have that one, but if you look at these two images and compare them, let me make them a little bigger. If you compare them, you see this one's a little darker, this was a little brighter, a little color is going to change. And this time, you see this is a .NEF. That means it was taken with a Nikon camera as opposed to a Canon. And we're going to perform color corrections and image enhancements in Camera Raw and Photoshop to achieve the end result. So what is this Camera Raw file that I keep talking about? RAW. So a lot of digital cameras can save images in Camera Raw format. It contains unprocessed picture data from the digital camera's image sensor, somewhat like undeveloped film. And some of y'all probably don't even know what film is. Back in the day, pictures were on film. You didn't have this digital stuff. And that data from a raw image is not yet converted to a standard multiple channel color image file. Still one unprocessed channel of sensor data, and in that form it's not yet viewable as an image. You might then wonder, how can you view raw files such as those included with this lesson on the back of the camera and on your computer before you open them? The answer is that a camera typically saves a raw file with an embedded preview image that represents the camera's interpretation of that raw data. So, raw processing software like Adobe Camera Raw interprets the unprocessed raw data into multiple color channels that photo editing software like Photoshop can edit. So, Camera Raw files are typically unique to each camera model sensor. If you have CRW files, it's from 3 different Canon camera models, and NEF files are from 3 Nikon models. Chances are those represent 6 different types of data. If you buy a new camera, you might need an Adobe Camera Raw update that adds support for specific data. So here's a question for you that you'll probably hear again or see again. Which statement is true about Camera Raw files? Is it the camera processing is locked into a raw image? Is it raw sensor data has not yet been converted into an RGB image file? Is it once a raw image has been processed, it cannot be changed? Or is it a Camera Raw file contains processed picture data? Correct answer is B. Raw sensor data has not yet been converted into an RGB image file. So you can open Camera Raw from either Bridge or Photoshop, and you can edit multiple images in Camera Raw. You can also apply the same edits to multiple files simultaneously. That means at the same time. That's useful if you're working with images that were all shot in the same environment and that therefore need similar adjustments. Camera Raw provides extensive controls for adjusting white balance, exposure, contrast, sharpness, tone curves, and much more. In this exercise, you'll edit one image and then apply the settings to similar images. So in Bridge, I want you to open up this mission folder. It has 3 shots of the Spanish church that we previewed earlier. If you click and hold down Shift click all 3 of those, it will select them. And then we're going to click File, Open in Camera Raw. And once again, I'm over on the other screen. Let me drag this over. Stuck. Okay, got it. All right, if a Welcome to Camera Raw 15.0 screen appears, click Get Started. It'll only do that the first time you open it, so if you've never opened anything in Camera Raw, it would come up now. So from there, and I'm going to, I have a picture that would show you what all these are, but I know that none of you would look at it, so I'm not going to do that. But I will ask you this. Choose which action Camera Raw is not able to perform with a Camera Raw image file. Is it open a Camera Raw image file, edit a Camera Raw image file, save an image in Camera Raw format, or Camera Raw can perform all of these actions? Well, the action that Camera Raw cannot perform is save an image in Camera Raw format. That is the correct answer. So, if your photos appear in a vertical strip along the left-hand side over here, you can click and hold the film strip menu button, which is down here, and you can change it from vertical. That's what vertical would look like. And we want to choose horizontal. Now, if you prefer vertical, you can do that in your own work, but for this, to make life easier, we're going to do this one. All right. So the Camera Raw dialog box displays a large preview of the selected image, and a film strip displays all open images. The histogram, which is this up here in the upper right corner, shows the tonal range of the selected image. The workflow options below the preview window control the selected image's color space, bit depth, size and resolution, which you can click to change. Tools along the right side let you zoom, pan, crop, straighten, and make other adjustments to the images. Those are all right along here. In the default mode, Camera Raw displays a stack of collapsible panels under the histogram. That's these. They're all collapsible. You can click on them, and you can edit things in more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you can edit the selected images, color, tone, detail, and so on and so forth. You can also save settings as a preset so you can apply them to other images. The Camera Raw options within the edit mode are intentionally organized so that you can get good results by using the tabbed panels from top to bottom. But it's okay to adjust the options in any order, and you don't have to adjust every option. We're going to explore these controls now as we edit our first image file. For this lesson, it will be useful to see the file names for each image, so click and hold the film strip menu button, and we want to show file names. Mine was already checked, but yours probably wasn't, so you want to show the file names. That's what yours probably looks like. So show file names. There you go. Mission 01, 02, 03. So click each thumbnail on the film strip to preview each image. When you've seen all 3, select the Mission 1. So Mission 1 image is what we're going to work on first. But let me ask you, yeah, that's what we're going to work on first. And we will do that in the next video.